Episode number 38. Got a pleasure of having one of my good friends here. Got Luke Stice. Yeah, he runs Vista Turf / Vista Pest now, which is something that everyone's going to want to hear about. They service the DFW, right, metropolitan area.
Yep.
And Luke's a heavy hitter in the industry. I think everyone will want to listen to this one. He's got a lot to say. Super smart. Back in the day when I used to drink, he got me really drunk one time. So thanks for that. We were up.
Yeah.
Where were we, in Dallas that time?
Yeah.
We're up in the
we
Space
were up
Needle.
in Dallas. Yeah.
That was rough.
It's funny you say that. It's pretty much everybody has that same story about me. I guess I'm an enabler or whatever.
It was fun though, back in the day. But like I said, it was 7-8 years ago. It was a really good time. But yeah, thanks for being here, Luke. And I'm excited to have everyone listen to your podcast, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Like you said, you've come a long way yourself. You have a business partner as well, right?
Yes.
And he runs other companies too.
Yeah, he does. He's got a commercial landscape construction company, one of the biggest ones in Texas. And then he does a couple other things. He's got a home building construction company and a lawn and garden center. So yeah, he stays pretty busy. He's pretty silent at this point in the Vista Pest and Vista Turf.
Right. How did you guys connect?
Oh, we've known each other since we were babies.
Oh, really?
We've always known each other. The way we started the business was he already had his construction company going, and I was working at Site One or John Deere Landscapes at the time while I was in college, and learned something about the industry doing that, and then me and him connected, and I was like, hey, I want to do a maintenance company, mowing, and so he already had a bunch of connections in the commercial world, and so he's like, we don't do maintenance commercial, so let's partner on that, and try to do this commercial maintenance thing, and we did that for, I don't know, what was it, 5 years or so, 5-6 years, until we completely shut it down and started doing residential. So
nice.
That's how we got together, and we just stayed partners ever since.
Yeah. So, a lot of people talk about like partnerships can be really, really good. And also there's the other side of it where it can be really, really bad. Like, kind of walk us through the dynamic of your guys' partnership. I'm sure it's been 10, 15 years now. You guys have been obviously really good partners, but just kind of walk us through the dynamic of dealing with a partner.
Well, it's fortunate for us. I mean, I guess it could be bad. I for some people, we're best friends essentially. We get along great. We are together all the time outside of the business. But the dynamic at this point is pretty much, we hardly ever even talk about the business anymore. It's kind of we meet quarterly and go over financials and everything, and kind of just we call it a same page meeting, which is an EOS term, but me and him have this same page meeting as well. We get together and get on the same page about the business, and that's about it. He's not involved in any of the decision making at this point. I mean, he's so busy he's got other things going on that he doesn't even want to be involved in decision making at this point. Yeah. So it's just me running the show now. And so, yeah, that's kind of the dynamic that we have.
That's cool.
He's always he's a quick start also. But being the outside from the outside looking in, he's always the one that's like pushing really hard to do things, to move forward, to do this, to hire this person, to go after this market. He's always just from the outside looking in, and I was on the inside, kind of giving that pushback. I was like, okay, we can't do this. It's too much, or I don't want to do this. I don't know what we're going to do here, and or it's too risky or whatever. So that's kind of the dynamic that we've had in the past. It's really helped us move forward in a strategic way, I guess.
Yeah.
And take some risk, but not be, overly ambitious, I guess is the word. But that's kind of been our deal in the past. But now it's pretty much just me kind of pushing everything.
That's cool. And what year did you start Vista turf?
2015.
2015.
Yeah, 2015. We shut down. We were Earth Tones Landscape Maintenance. We shut down that and started Vista Turf, and we subbed out all. We had commercial contracts all over the DFW Metroplex. We subbed out everything, and our service area was cut down to Midlothian, Mansfield, about a 15-mile radius is where we cut it down to. And I remember running to Jonathan about this. I was like, okay, I'm kind of restarting here, revamping. What would be what's your advice for me? Like, what was something that you would do if you could start over and do this? And he said two things. He said, number one, I would wrap my trucks from the get-go. Like, they'd be painted and wrapped from the get-go, which is something that I hadn't done yet at all. They were all white. And then the other thing was, he's like, I would figure out the smallest service area I possibly could. I would narrow it down as small as I thought it could possibly be, and then I would cut that in half and then service that. I was like, okay. And so that one I really took to heart and was just super strict on, okay, we're gonna focus right here in this small area and just dominate it. And it worked. It has worked. So that's and that was back in 2015. So we subbed out all that commercial work, and within a year, I subbed it out and forgot about it. Like, I intentionally, I was like, all right, it's y'all's. I'm going to collect money and pay y'all, and I'm done with it. I don't care what you do with it. And within a year, they had all canceled. Every one of the commercial contracts had canceled.
Wow.
So,
and then were you doing residential mowing at that time?
Yes, residential mowing and fertilization and weed control.
Is that what you still do now, or did you cut the mowing out?
We still do mowing. It's not. We do about 800 to $1 million in mowing.
Okay, so it's still pretty decent.
So it's a decent amount. It's about a quarter of what we do now. We do mostly fertilization weed control now. It's our biggest part of the business. So
yeah, in those 15-mile radius, like, what's the population?
We're at about 70, 80,000, somewhere in there.
Oh, that's not huge.
It's not. No, it's not that huge. You guys
are dominating that market. That's awesome.
Yeah, we've got it right at 5,000 clients in the area right now. We're going to have to expand. You know, our goal is to be at 15 million by 2031. So we're going to have to expand. We're not going to do 15 million where we're at in residential lawn care. So we're looking at different areas or branches to open. And actually, your name comes up a lot because Kendra, you met Kendra, Brian and Kendra at the Pest World. Yep. She always brings that up. She's like, we gotta. He does it. He does it up there. He's got these different branches. Like, let's just go ahead and do it. Like, we gotta pull the trigger on. She's a real go getter. I'm like, yeah, I know. We gotta do that too, because that's definitely part of our long term plan is to have several locations because we're gonna have to.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll have to chat about that someday soon. I've learned a lot of really good things through the process for the last few years of opening other branches and some of the struggles you have, and save you a lot of time for sure and money. I've done a lot of things the wrong way, right? And to be honest, so but just working through those, I'm like, I'd never do that again. But that's how we learn. So then you do mostly fertilization, weed control, and then again, last time we talked, we couldn't even really talk that much because the music was so loud. But we were at Pest World, and we didn't know each other we were going to be there, and we were just kind of walking through, and all of a sudden, I was like, holy crap. You're like, Jonas. I'm like, looked up, and there's Luke standing there. I'm like, that's awesome. So we hung out that night, but we didn't get the chance to talk a whole lot because the music was so loud. But when did you decide to launch Pest? That must have been 2 years ago?
It was longer than that. It was, I believe it was 2016 or 17 is when I decided to launch Pest. Just because it just made sense. Yeah. And getting into the mosquito, that's what was what caught my attention to wanting some mosquito control. But in Texas, you got to have a structural license and the different licensing and all that. In most states, I'm sure you do. But and so I found a consultant that you have to work under somebody else's license for about a year before you can get your own. So I found a consultant that does that, and I worked under his license in my own company, but worked under his license for a year, and then got my own and got it up and going. I think that was it was about 20. I had him in 2016, and it was just stagnant for the longest time. Could not figure out. It was so frustrating, pest control, because one, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what we were doing with pest control. I knew how to do the mosquito stuff, but nothing else. And I'm used to being able to just fire off an email to 5,000 customers, and I can generate 50,000 in upsell just like that. And you send out an email about pest control, and it's just crickets, like nothing. And then posting ads online and making the Facebook posts about it and everything. And it was so freaking frustrating to get the ball rolling. So then I wondered why, and I was trying to figure out why it is. And I thought that maybe it was a brand thing. I've always been on or worked under this impression that it doesn't matter what your brand is. It's how you market, how you sell. And I still believe that to an extent, but we're a Vista turf. And so I'm like, okay, people don't think we're a pest control company. They don't trust us for their pest control services. So I need to rebrand, and it's pretty simple. I already got Vista turf, so let's just do Vista Pest. And I have all my trucks are blue, and I rebranded to orange. They're all orange, and it's the same logo too. It's a chameleon. It's the same type deal. You can tell it's the same company. It's just totally different color, and it's Pest. And we started a pest or Vista Pest Facebook page and website and all that stuff. And I'd say it worked really well to get the ball rolling with our pest control, but I really don't know, because at the same time I was able to hire some people that were experts in the industry, in the pest control industry. And I hired them right at the same time I did that. I was doing all that stuff, and then they came on, and since they came on at the same time, I don't know if the rebranding thing really was necessary or not. But I'm glad I did it to this day. It really does stand out as its own brand, and so I'm glad I did it. But I think the biggest game changer for us in the pest control world was bringing on those people, those experts that had been doing it for forever. They had been in another company for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, something like that, maybe even longer. And they're a husband and wife combo. They both came on. One of them was operations manager, and the other was she was, I guess, kind of the GM of the whole company. And yeah, they took that other company. They took it and ran with it and grew it to a pretty significant size in both the commercial world and the residential. And so they came on in 2020. Yeah, it was 2020, I think, or 2021 that they both came on, and they just have taken it and run with it. And it's their baby. I'm completely hands off with it, and they're doing everything with it. And awesome. So it's truly been good.
So do you run them as separate businesses, or are they actually the same business, just different branding?
They're the same business, just different branding. They're run under the same Service Autopilot.
That's my next question.
Account. They're run under the same. Everybody calls the same office. But yeah, they're just two separate brands under the same.
Yeah,
same company.
Same phone number, everything, or is there a different phone number that goes to your office?
There is a different phone. I have whatever. It's the same. It's 469-333 pest, I think, is what that one is. Another one's turf.
Gotcha.
So it's two different numbers, but they bring on the same. They just bring on the same phone.
But you have two separate websites, or is just a landing page off of your current website?
Two separate websites.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then how did you find those people? Like,
So what's funny is I actually interviewed Kendra, is her name, and I actually interviewed back in I think it was 2015 or so, and maybe it's earlier than that. I don't know. It was around then. I interviewed her, and it was between her and another lady I was interviewing, and I hired the other one, and I referred Kendra to the company that she went to, because I knew the guy, and so he hired her, and then she took his pest control company and just blew it all up, and really did a lot of good things with it. And I didn't know her husband at the time, and then they, I don't all the details of it, but they ended up just leaving over there, the other company, or wanting out of it, and so I heard about it, and I caught wind of it, and I just reached out to them, and they were excited about coming on with this and really taking the pest control side and running with it. So we did. That's how we knew him. That's how I came.
So which part of the business do you like better at this point?
Like of all the branches?
Yeah.
I mean, I like pest control. Pest control is exciting, but lawn care is that's the bread and butter, I guess, at this point.
For sure.
That's the one that actually makes money. So
yeah, well, it's exciting to like for us as quick starts to learn. And with pest control, there's so much to learn.
Yeah. It's and I'm still, I still don't know much about it, simply because they're doing everything and they're the experts. But I am really, really excited about it. We're getting back into the commercial world on it. We're doing construction pre-treats, termite stuff. So there's, and construction is booming around here. So there's a lot of that going on. And that's a whole different world in and of itself, and how the reporting you have to do for the state, and how you bill these big, these big GCs, and it's done in stages, these pre-treat stages as a construction is being built, or is being finished. So it's just a whole different ball game. Being able to, we're 24/7 on some of this commercial work, this termite work. So, we can get calls on a Saturday evening and say, hey, we're going to pour the slab at 8:00 Sunday morning. We need you to come out in the middle of the night and spray this pad. And we have to do it. That's the nature of it. Stress is just thinking about stresses me the fuck out. Stresses me out.
Yeah.
And and I can't, nope, I'm going to shut the door on this thing. But they're, they love it, and they're doing it, and they figure it out. And I'm like, as long as you're not calling me to get up in the morning at 3 and go out there and spray the pad, have at it. Do whatever you want.
For sure. That's really cool. Congratulations. I know we talked about pest control a lot the last few years. It seems to be like the main topic that we talk about. So yeah, it's both come from the lawn care world, but we get that question on the podcast all the time. Or that concern that they can't get into pest control because they're a lawn care company, and the community sees them as a lawn care company and doesn't trust them with their pest control. So I know you went out, you got a new website, you got a new brand, but how are you getting new clients to this point? Are you still upselling your current clients to Vista Pest, or how does that work?
So it's all branding. We did some print marketing with it early on. Had about the same results as we do with lawn care, so we just stopped doing it. But we do have content going up on Facebook and Instagram every single week. We do just a lot of just branding events, and we did that with Vista Turf, and we gained traction with it. We got to the point where that's all we had to do every year is just this branding stuff. Like we would do a wine and arts festival. And we're the main sponsor for that. There's another they call it Heritage Day, this other fall type festival, fall wine festival that happens. There's golf tournaments. There's a night of lights at the local nursery that my business partner owns. We did this big Christmas light event there, and a lot of people come to that. Thousands of people come to that. And we're the primary sponsor for it. So what we did was transition Vista Turf to Vista Pest on all those events. And so Vista Pest has been everywhere in town on all these events.
Awesome.
We replaced our tent. We have an orange tent, and all the signage, all the banners, everything is orange with Vista Pest. So that's just kind of the direction we went with the marketing, and I think it really did. And then our trucks, we got vans, we got Sprinter vans, as our residential pest control trucks, and we wrapped those. We wrapped our commercial trucks are like 450, 550s flatbeds, and those are wrapped. So we went from nothing to having 4 or 5 wrapped vehicles on the road here in the 15-mile radius again. So that's been our marketing plan with it. It's just branding, brand awareness. Even though we didn't start like with Vista Turf, it took a long time before that would work. Like nobody knew who we were at early on, and so we had to do all this other stuff with Facebook ads and SEO and print marketing and whatnot in order to get to the point where now we don't really have to do any of that stuff, and we're still going to grow every year just because our brand is out there.
For sure.
So I think we with Vista Pest, we kind of just took the place of where Vista Turf was as far as all that branding stuff goes, and we already had a lot of the groundwork laid for it. So yeah, that's how we're growing and adding customers.
That's cool. I want to circle back to the sponsorship. So when you're the main sponsor for the event, you have your tent set up. Do you have like a couple sales guys there? What do you guys? You have a table, a booth there, I'm assuming. What do you guys do there?
So we don't really sell at all. We give out random stuff. So like the Wine and Arts Festival, we give out margaritas. It's free margaritas, and so we're attracting. People are just hovering to our tent, and it's a big tent. We get the main sponsorships. We're a huge tent right in the middle of the festival, and we give out margaritas. We give out koozies with our logo on it. We do a couple of raffles. We do. I think we gave out fly swatters, like orange fly swatters this year. Just random stuff, cups like Yetis, those types of things. And all of our staff is there with Vista Turf, Vista Pest, and we just hang out. That's all we do. We're not trying to sell. We are letting people know, hey, just so you know, we're Vista Turf. We're also a pest control company. We do pest control. Have a koozie and call us with your pest control company. That's it. We're not trying to sit there and hard sell anything. We've done some things to try to get emails, a list of emails to reach out to people. We have done that, but other than that, it's just being there. Our van is there. One of our vans is there. So it's just, we want to be seen everywhere at these events.
And how many events a year do you do? Typically it's like one a month.
No, not one a month. We do, let's see, we got one. I guess our major events, it's 5. It's 5 major events: the Wine and Arts Festival, the Heritage Day, the two big golf tournaments, and then the night of lights. And then we do some smaller ones as well. Some sponsorships, like at some school events that we sponsor. The FFA banquet, we sponsored that this past year. So there are some smaller things. A rodeo, that the local livestock show and rodeo. There's some things like that we do. They're not as big, but it's just more about our banners out there somewhere. And then for the commercial side, these GCs, Kendra she's in charge of this. She does a lot of face-to-face with them, taking them breakfast, taking them lunch to their offices and meeting them. We've done some, we've partnered with another company here in town. A buddy of mine owns a cabinet making company for, a commercial cabinet making company. And we've done some hunts with them. We'll have a GCs out for an overnight stay at a ranch, and we'll cook out for them and take them on a quail hunt, stuff like that. And those go really, really well. We always get business from those because they love that kind of stuff. They eat it up. So, and then we also do some sporting events as well. So I guess you could say, we'd probably do something every month, but none of these big like community events. Those are that's about 5 or 6 of them.
That's fire right there. And I'm sure a lot of people will, if they're smart, they'll pick up on this and go input themselves. How do you actively seek those things, or they come to you? those events?
Well, they I think initially, yeah, we actively went out and looked for them and kind of worked our way like the Wine Arts Festival. We weren't the primary sponsor every year. We had to work our way up until that spot was open and finally got it. And, and we want to keep it, so they call us first every year. But yeah, and we're very active in the Chamber of Commerce, and that's where a lot of these things come from, is the Chamber of Commerce. So we're on the Kandra's on the board of the Midlothian Chamber of Commerce, and so any of those events, we get first choice of being the primary sponsor of any event we want to be the sponsor of. And we're gonna I want to get more active in some of the other Chamber of Commerces in the cities around us as well, but just haven't done it yet. But I'd say that's where the most of it comes from.
That's awesome. Yeah,
being active in the chamber.
We did the same thing. Every branch that we opened, we also joined the chamber there and their B&I network group. When we first start out, it's been fantastic to us too. So everyone who's listening to the podcast, it's definitely something you guys should all think about joining.
Absolutely, and the B&I too. We just got in the Midlothian one. I was in it early on, and then I got out of it.
Same.
I didn't want to go to it myself. It was back when I had to go to it, and I never did go. And actually, I think they might have even kicked me out for not going. But and then Kandra got back in it. We couldn't get in it because of our there was a lawn care company in there already, but they dropped out, and so we just joined back. I think maybe it was this year even. We just got back in, but there's a pest control company in there already.
Be careful what you say.
So we're kind of towing a line there. We can't really be a pest control company there, but yeah, that the Chamber of Commerce and BNI, it's been great. And
each one of those is like $600 a year. It's so cheap to join.
Yeah, it's so cheap, and you have such good connections, especially with Chamber of Commerce. I mean, the amount of connections that you make with those groups of people. They're all other entrepreneurs doing great things.
Yep.
And there's just so many connections that come with that. So it's been really good. I highly recommend. If I could go back, that's something I would do from the beginning.
Yeah.
Is get involved with that and get involved with those community events.
Yeah. How many employees do you guys have total now?
I think we're right at 40.
Nice.
35, 40, somewhere cool. In there.
And then how much are you involved these days with the day-to-day or?
I'm not involved at all, really. This has been a crazy year and a half for me, and it's kind of forced me to take a backseat approach to the Vista Turf and Vista Pest, and really trust my people and let go of the reins to an extent and let them kind of take over. So I'm consistently there for about an hour and a half every week, once a week.
Right on.
I do drop in more here and there. We do EOS. I don't know if anybody talked about EOS on here yet, but we do EOS religiously. Like we do it. We follow it to a T.
Do you hire an implementer?
I do. Yes.
Okay.
I have an implementer. We just hit our 2-year mark.
Awesome.
This last quarterly meeting that we had. So I'm at the quarterly meetings, I'm at the annual meeting, and I'm at the weekly level 10 meeting that we have with the leadership team. And that's been about, this year, that's consistently, that's when I'm there. Just for the hour and a half meeting that we have. And I'll drop in here and there. Usually after our quarterly meeting, I'll be there more consistently for a week or so, or have more consistent meetings with the leadership team once we're trying to implement some of the things we talked about. But then, it goes back to just the level 10, and that speaks to the power of EOS. That I can do that. Like the amount of accountability and the amount of structure that it provides allows for that. Mm-hmm. For me to just be there for an hour and a half every week. Yeah. And my leadership team can take it from there and run it. So
how hard was that to adjust for you? From being there every day, working your life away, and then all of a sudden you're not there.
Well, it kind of was gradual. It wasn't overnight. It was a gradual thing. But things just took a took a priority, especially this past year and a half. I've been going through a divorce, and I have a 4-year-old son, and so what kind of forced me to do that was the custody schedule. My time with him went down significantly. I didn't get to see him every single day, and so the days that I had him, I was going to spend them with him. And I would spend the entire days with him. So if I had him on Thursday evenings or Thursday nights, I would leave early and I'd go get him and I'd spend the evening with him. If I had him all day on Friday, then I'm spending all day with him on Friday. And in the summertime, our schedule is every other week. So I have him all day, every day during the summer. And so, I spent just as much time with him doing things, going and doing fun stuff, spend time at the house. He'd come to work with me too, and I'd spend some time there. But that's what really kind of shifted my focus. And it wasn't hard. It was an easy decision.
Yeah.
It's something I wanted to do. And it was a distraction too from the business. I wasn't thinking about the business and everything. So it just kind of gradually ended up there over the last year and a half or 2 years, basically. So that's kind of how I got here. And then starting or buying this barbecue joint.
Yeah, we can talk about that. I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, well, there's nothing exciting about it.
So tell us how that came about.
Yeah. That came about. That was very much pretty much a a snap of a finger. Hey, I want to sell this barbecue joint. You want to buy it? And I was like, okay, we'll do that. And and took it over in March of this year. March 1st is whenever we took over. And my operations manager, like I told you earlier, my operations manager at Vista Turf is a big barbecue guy, and so I stole him, and he's running the barbecue joint now. And that really, really ruffled a ton of feathers at Vista Turf. And but it didn't matter. I was going to do it anyways, and he wanted to do it, so we did it. And that's been a big transition this year, is trying to figure out that side, like the operations manager from that was Brian. He was operations manager at the pest control company before that we brought on. He took over as operations manager for the whole company. So he's been transitioning into that, and that's been a big focus this year, is getting him all situated as operations manager over everything. He had a lot to learn about the lawn care industry, but most of my time now is with the barbecue joint, because that's a different animal altogether. Same concepts. I mean, all the problems that you have are the same problems, same issues, but yeah, it tastes really good. It's great barbecue. It makes zero money whatsoever.
Was it making money?
That's the part I got.
Is that why you sold it?
It was. No, it was. It was an owner operator, and
gotcha.
It was very, very small, and he was making a profit on it, but I want to blow it up. I want it to get big. I want to have several locations, have the food truck going, like catering, all this stuff, and bringing people on, trying to do that. We're renovating the building and going to add a nice bar to it and everything. So it's just, right now it's a money pit, and it's a time pit too. So that's where I'm spending most of my efforts these days. But
right on. How many employees did it have when you bought it, or was it just the owner? Or
it was just the owner. He stayed on for 3 months.
Okay.
And trained West Team operations guy. And right now we got 5 employees.
Nice.
That's too many, to be honest. That's probably like 4 too many. We just need 1 in order for it to make money. But yeah, in order to get where we want to go and do the things we want to do with it, we're going to have to bring those people on. It's so hard just like any other industry, it's really hard to find people to work it that you can trust, especially in this. It's in Maypearl, which is a really small town, outside of Midlothian. Um, but with the catering, the one good thing about like the connections at the Chamber of Commerce and BNI and, our events that we do, we're starting to cater all these things with our own barbecue place.
That's awesome.
And Justin too, his my business partner, his businesses, they're catering everything from the barbecue place. So the catering stuff is really starting to take off, and it's just been exciting. It is a fun business. It's stressful and it's expensive, but it's really actually really fun.
That's really cool. What do the next 5 years look like for you, Luke? What's your plan?
5 years. So our 5 years for Vista Turf and Vista Pest, we want to be at the we're probably going to be at about the 6 or 7 million mark, with at least one other location. And I think that, for me personally, it'll probably be about the same involvement in that. I would assume. I really, back to EOS, a big thing that I want to accomplish over the next, this is our 3-year picture, not necessarily our 5. And this is also our 1-year picture, is to have, at that point, we'll need probably 70 to 80 people that are the right person in the right seat.
Yeah.
And we have worked so hard on that now, or we've been working on that for the last year and a half, and we were going to work on it. That's going to be our primary focus over the next, however many years until we hit our goals. But we want to hit our goals by having the right people in the right seat across the board in the entire company. And that's been a struggle, just because, there's, just like any business, I think you got people that do really great things with your company, and they get you to a certain point, but then you outgrow them and you get to the point that they're not helpful anymore. Right. And there's nothing wrong with them. They're not bad people or anything. They're just they're not the right person in the right seat for the size or the place that your company is at in order to get you to the next level. Yeah. And so we've had a ton of transition in the last year and a half. And even this year, we've had a ton of transition with moving people out that, helped us get to this point, but they're not going to get us to the next point. And so we're bringing in people that are this next level, that's going to help us get to that next level that we want to get to. So I think for me, and that's changing our culture too. Our culture has changed over the last year since we've implemented that mindset, and trying to make sure we have the right people in the right seat throughout the entire company, and getting people to buy into our VTO, our vision traction organizer, all that stuff. It's really, it changes for the better, but it's made our culture change too. Our culture is different now than it was a year ago. As we grow, we're a more professional company. That we're still close, and we're still friends and like almost a close knit family, but it's not what it was before. And a lot of people have not been okay with that. They want things to stay the same. They want it to stay comfortable. And one of our core values is flexibility. That you got to be flexible, because we are a growing company, and I've never been a $5 million company before. I don't know what that looks like. I'm just learning it right now. And I don't know what a $10 million company looks like. I've never been there before. I can guess and try to predict and project, but I don't know what that looks like. So I have to figure it out and be flexible and be able to adapt and change as we go. Even myself. And part of me is this whole taking a back seat, taking a back seat to these people that I've hired that know what they're doing, that are professionals, that can really, if I let them do their job, they're going to do great things. And so a lot of people along the way that don't want to do that, they're not there anymore. They're gone. That's just something, core values. It's important to be able to adapt and make changes. So yeah, that 5-year down the road, that's where we want to be in revenue, and I just see myself kind of in the same seat I am now with the company. So
what about the barbecue place? What's the plan with that? What is your 3-year
the plan with that is we want to have, I don't have specifics on catering, like where I want to be, but I want that to be the primary source of income is catering. I want it to be a catering company. And that's from what I've learned, that's where you make your money in barbecue is catering events. That, and then having a location in Midlothian. I want to open a second location. And that is like the next it's a 3-year goal is to have another bigger, better location right there in Midlothian. It's not so out of the way for everybody. So yeah, that's my plan for that.
That's cool. When you bought the company, did you buy the real estate, or were they leasing them spot?
They were leasing it, but we were able to buy it from the owner as well. So yeah, so bought it and bought the lot next door. It's hard to explain. It's downtown Maypro. It's a shithole. It's just a real small town, Texas. So there's nothing nice about it, but we're going to take it and we're going to, the lot next door is going to be an outdoor patio, and we're going to make it a bar, an open bar on both sides. There's nothing like that here in Maypro. So hopefully we're turning it into kind of a destination for people to come to over here. So, and I moved, from Midlothian. I'm living, and I'm in Maypro now. I bought this house about a month ago, and the barbecue joint, I keep pointing that way because it's right there.
Okay, nice.
It's about 3 blocks away.
You said you're remodeling your house now too, right?
Yeah. They're doing some construction on it, just adding some stuff, fixing it up a little bit. It's a really old house. It's a really cool house, but it's a really old house. It's about 100 years old. So,
nice.
But they've redone it from the ground up. But there's just a few things we're trying to make it a little more practical for us.
Cool.
This town, it's a really cool town. Like it's super redneck. Like you can ride your side by sides in town. Like they allow it.
Yeah.
And so I literally I brought it. I brought mine up here to the house, and now I just take it down to the barbecue joint and do some work, and then come back and just drive that thing all around. Like it's I wear my Crocs. Like it's great. Cowboy hat and Crocs. It's cool. It's really cool living here. I like this.
That's cool.
Little redneck town. So.
Nice. How's recruiting been down in Texas?
I'm sure it's sucked. It's hard. It's not any easier, that's for sure. I'm sure it's the same everywhere. The quality of spray techs, of course, we are paying more. We started paying a lot more. Our quality of spray techs has gone up. And I don't know why that is, but we do have a really good, a solid group of guys now. And maybe that's because of EOS and how we're hiring and how we're picking who we hire, being more picky about it, because we want the right people in the right seat. We don't want just warm bodies, filling seats. Mm-hmm. But still, it's hard to, it seems like we have to interview, 30 people to get one. It seems like we get, 100 applicants, and from those, only 5 of them are worth interviewing. And then of those 5, only one of them actually shows up to the interview. Like it's hard, but it's something that we just do consistently.
Yeah. We have
heads going all the time. Say what?
Have you guys been fully staffed all year?
No, we haven't. We're on the mowing side, especially. We're not fully staffed right now. We're going to have to bring on not a lot, maybe two or 4 more people.
Yeah.
We actually just met about that yesterday, because we're getting back to the point. I sold a good portion of our mowing accounts last year, just because the year before we didn't make any money on mowing. We paid way too much overtime, and I hated it, and I wanted to shut it down, and I decided that I was just going to cut about 20% of our accounts, and then raise our prices a lot on the one that was left. And if we lose all the accounts, we lose all the accounts. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But I was actually in a bar. This is random. I was in a bar, and this guy walked up to me, and we started talking. And he had a mowing company, and I just thought, "Hey, you want to buy some mowing accounts?" And he was like, "Well, yeah." And so I ended up selling. I was about to just cut him. He probably, if he watches this, he's gonna be so mad. I was just gonna cut him, like just dump them all. I ended up selling them to him, and making some money off of them. And then last year we did great doing that. I mean, we killed it. We made great money on it. And now this year, actually, we did more revenue last year than we did the year before. After selling 20% and then raising prices, we did more revenue than we did the year before, and we made money on it. But now we're back to that point where we've added so many that we don't have enough people to do it. We're getting back into too much overtime, and so we met about that yesterday on our level 10. It was like we're either gonna hire people, or we're gonna cut out a bunch of lawns, or shut the door on this thing. Like, I don't want. We're not gonna make money on it. We're not gonna do it.
Right.
So,
didn't you used to hire H2Bs, or do you still hire H2Bs?
No, I don't anymore. I did for the longest time until that all went to shit, and we got screwed like 3 years in a row. Didn't get our guys, maybe 4 years in a row even. And when they went to the lottery system and took away the returning worker exemption, since they did that, we were screwed every single year. We never did get our guys until the middle of the summer. Yep. And so what we did 2 years ago was we got we used to bring, I think, 14 or 15 H2B guys, and we took our core foreman from that group, and we got them permanent visas.
Awesome.
And it costs a lot. It's risky because, once they get them, they can leave. But they've stayed real loyal to it, and they appreciate it, and they're here to stay now, and they can bring their families up here now. And that's actually just now. That was a 3-year process. We started that about 3 years ago, and I think this week we just got one of their green cards just came in this week from one of the guys. They come in at different times, but so our core group of mowing guys is here, and they've been here for a long time, working for us for 10 years or so. But they came in on H2B to begin with, and so we got their permanent pieces. That's cool. And now we just try to build every year around them. So
one of the
biggest, I guess if it
go ahead.
Say what?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, just if it comes down to it, with mowing, I don't think we'll ever drop it completely, but we'll always have enough to keep those guys busy. For sure. To keep them doing something. So
one of the biggest hurdles that people face down south is the winter months when it goes to like bi-weekly or monthly. How do you guys handle that?
Well, we're to the point now. It sucks before because there's nothing to do. Like we can do leaf cleanups, and we don't do any mowing in the wintertime. It just goes down to nothing for about 3 months there. So we did Christmas lights. We added Christmas lights. That doesn't buy you a whole lot, though. It maybe gives us an extra month of work for our guys to do. But you're still stuck in January and February with no work at all. And there's some little things here and there, like pruning crepe myrtles and rose bushes and leaf cleanups. And we do some upsells to try to do, freshen up your mulch before stuff like that. But really, it goes down to nothing. And that core group guys, we do whatever we can to keep them busy. They do a lot of work around the shop during the winter. Back in the day, that was a real struggle. And now it's not, just because we do more fertilization, weed control than everything else. Yeah, and pest control as well. So we're still producing revenue now. At least we're producing money and making money in the winter months, right. Not just sitting there twiddling our thumbs. So it's not as big of an issue anymore, because we treat during the, we can treat during the winter months.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it just takes time to get there, right?
Yeah. It takes time to be able to make enough on that, because with residential lawn care, the number of customers you have to have, I mean, they're averaging $600 a customer for the regular package without any upsells. It's $600 a year to sign up. That's the average price. These smaller lots. So you got to have a lot of them in order to make money.
For sure.
And it just takes a good amount of time. We just like Brandon, we do the blue dye in the winter with the lawn.
We almost made it a whole episode without Brandon's name getting brought up, but we didn't make it.
Oh, you didn't make it? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he probably comes up a lot. I'm sure
he does. He's a stud.
Yeah, he's something else.
He is.
I don't know if I call him a stud or not, but he's something else.
He is.
He's a lot of fun. I have a funny story about Brendan. I went and saw him. I took my operations manager up there. This is the weirdest thing. And I like to drink. I like to drink whiskey.
Yeah.
We get there and we stay at his house and we go see his shop and everything. And then we go to his house that night. And he's like, y'all want to drink? I'm like, yeah, sure. And he's like, all right, let's have a whiskey. I was like, that's perfect. I like whiskey. And so he gets out cans of Coke and he gets out a bottle of whiskey, and I'm like waiting for the cups. And he has like this Kirkland or whatever, like the off-brand Diet Coke or something. And it's not even the real thing. And he opens it up and he takes a little sip and he pours a bunch of whiskey in the top of the can and starts drinking it. And then he hands it to me. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is how we're drinking. So I'd open it and take a drink and pour some whiskey in the top of it. And that's how we drank the rest of the night.
That's so funny.
No cups or anything. Yeah.
Good times.
It was fun. Yeah, it was good times.
So you do the blue dye, you went to visit him, and then you just learned how to do the blue, is that where you learned to do the blue dye?
Yeah, that's where I learned it. Actually, I had seen it. We did a bunch of commercial work up there years ago, back in 2013, 14. And I remember seeing the blue dye, and it was probably him. I'm assuming it was him. But I know other people do it up there too, but I think he's the one that started it. And I stayed away from it for years just because I was scared to do it. And he was always like, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. And finally pulled the trigger on it, I think 4 years ago. And oh my gosh, like it's a game changer. Yes, all the problems that I thought would happen happened, but it's worth it. Yes, we sprayed a white dog at somebody's house and got over their furniture. Yes, we stained their concrete. Yes, we had to replace their stone edging on a house. Like all these bad things happen, but we're adding hundreds and thousands of customers from that blue dye every single year.
Just marketing tactic.
And
right?
Yeah, it's crazy. We are all over the place in the downtime whenever nobody else is doing anything. Everybody sees us everywhere. So
yeah,
it's really been great.
That's awesome. So, what is some of the best advice you've been given over your entrepreneur career?
I think there's. I don't know. That's a tough one. I think the best advice I've probably been given is it's very cliche and everybody's heard it, but when you start doing it, you know it's true, and that's try not to be. You never want to be the smartest person in the room of your own company. Hire people that are better than you. Hire people that know more than you do. Hire people that are ambitious and want to do things, and let them do it. Hand the reins over to them. Let them do it. Hire people to do the things that you don't want to do. Like even that. Just the quality. Once you implement that and start doing that and having that mindset, then your business gets better, your quality of life gets better, everything just really starts to take off. I think that's probably the best advice I've been given.
Cool. What are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of. I think I'm most proud of the fact that personally speaking,
both.
Both. Well, they're both related. I think I'm most proud of the fact that have gotten to the point where I really can do the things I want to do. Sounds really selfish. Do the things I want to do when I want to do them. I can. I've gotten to the point where the businesses now work for me, and I don't work for them. And it's something that I never want to take for granted. Something that's easy to take for granted. And it's something that as a business owner, I feel bad about it a lot of times. Like, I feel bad about the fact that like none of my employees can just up and go on a trip whenever they want to, or take off for an entire week and go spend the week with their son, or take off in the middle of the day and not come back. There's all these benefits of where we're at now as a company, and that's taken a lot of work to get there, and I'm proud of building it to that point, I guess, and being able to take it. I say take advantage of it. I do take advantage of that. I don't take it for granted, but I do take advantage of it. Being of the mindset that yes, I'm gonna enjoy this thing. Like, I've built it. I love it. It's a functioning company that works without me, and I'm going to take advantage of it, and I do. So yeah, I think that's probably what I'm most proud of, apart from my 4-year-old boy. I'm really proud of him. He's really cool.
Yeah, like I remember the day that you had him, like you've been so proud of every day since. Like, I always see posts almost daily of you hanging out with the boy, and it's super cool. So
yeah,
congratulations on that too. You're an awesome
dude. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, he was born like right around during the conference. The Service Autopilot conference. I think I had to cancel. I had dinner set up
or something.
I came to the after party for like an hour.
Yeah.
I wasn't there very long. I just drove up, and it was at the House of Blues there, and there was like people walking around with snakes and shit on them. You remember that?
Yes.
Like spiders and snakes everywhere. And I went up there for an hour or two, and then
didn't they have the tricycle racing like through the House of Blues? Weren't we doing that too?
Yes. Or was it? Yeah, no, that was a different. That was at a different place. I think they had the tricycle. It was like toilet racing or toilet bowl racing or tricycles or
something like that.
Yeah, that they had at the House of Blues. They had like a turtle and rabbit race.
Yeah,
like you put your animal out there and then have it race or something. There was a lot of weird shit at that deal, but it was fun
for sure. Cool, man. Well, said I'd keep you here an hour, and it's been just about that. So again, thanks for being here. Thanks for your friendship, and thanks for all the help along the way.
Yeah.
Like I said, I remember looking up to you as a mentor when I first got rolling. So appreciate everything.
Absolutely, man. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. And I guess we'll hopefully get to catch up if you're going to be at Pest World in Hawaii.
I'm not. Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, they want to go.
Clan, so
we used to have a lot going on that month with other things that we have going on. And I just can't make it happen. I got 3 other trips right on the same time, and I just can't make it happen this year. But I think isn't it there like every 2 or 3 years though?
I don't know.
I think
I'm not sure.
Every few years they have it in Hawaii. So I told the team the goal is the next one.
Yeah, that's very expensive.
Yeah,
that's for sure. I almost didn't do it, but
my CFO sent me a picture yesterday or the other day of an Airbnb, like just putting the hints in there. Let's go. So,
well, he says it's okay.
He does say it's okay. I just don't have the time to do it right now.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, appreciate your time.
Well, good deal, man.
Later.
All right. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out another episode of the Pest Control Millionaire Podcast. If this was valuable to you, please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. It really makes a big difference for our growth. And if you do need any help growing your business, go ahead and check out pestcontrolmillionaire.com. We have lots of courses up there, from sales to operations. I have some courses there about producing short-form content. Plus, we have a mentorship program where you can get one-on-one business coaching from the Pest Control Millionaire himself. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.